president-elect, was under the impression that Peter Obi was running or was was accepting the nomination of the Labour Party for the purpose of spoiling Atiku's chances, and that maybe there was some sort of implied cooperation between Peter Obi and the supposed eventual winner for the purpose of splitting Atiku's vote. But as soon as that person realized that Peter Obi was actually serious about running for president, and the movement around him was actually becoming like an NSAS kind of movement that was building up critical mass and taking up all the young people, and then they started getting frightened. That's when they started attacking Peter Obi, that they never took him serious at first. So when they realized that he was hovering up youth support, they started taking him serious. In the initial stages, that they apparently had actually started like trying to make offers, like funding offers for the campaign that basically take this money. But obviously, once you take their money, you become beholden to them. So if you take their money and then later on they tell you to step down, you have to step down.
So no wonder Soludo said if he was Tinubu, he will give Peter Obi money to keep campaigning. So it was like in their circle, they never took him serious until
And apparently Tinubu actually tried to give him money to campaign, but he never touched it. And that's where the problem came from, because the idea that Tinubu's people had was, oh, okay, this guy he's taking, the youth, the Twitter people seem to be entertained by him. So we can use him to take 2 or 3 million votes away from Atiku. If 2 or 3 million is too much, you can use to take 1 or 2 million votes away from Atiku. And then that, and then he refused to take their money. So which means they couldn't control him. And then they started to understand that this man actually wants to become president. And he actually believes he can win.
Tinubu was like Obi, the other one.
Exactly.
Importer, exporter. So they were caught unaware. Tell us more, David.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. They did not take him serious at first. And then later on, started getting some traction. They said, okay, let's put some few tens of millions behind him to just encourage him and to help him cut Atiku's vote. And then he became everybody's biggest nightmare because, and then all those polls started coming out, and it became clear that this man is actually going to win this election ahead of the entire established system. And then he became their number one enemy. They couldn't tell him to step down because he didn't take their money. So they couldn't control him. And in fact, so you may or may not be aware of this. All the traveling he did during his campaign period, where he was always in one jet up and down, he was paying for it out of his own pocket.
Wow.
He intentionally refused to touch a lot of the money that was available for him to touch because the source of that money was dodgy. So he didn't want anything that could be used against him in future, that somebody who used to blackmail him later. So he, by necessity, he ran possibly one of the cleanest and one of the least expensive political campaigns that Nigeria has ever witnessed. I always like to say that pound for pound, that was the most successful political campaign I've ever seen in Nigeria, pound for pound, in terms of what was spent and what was achieved. That was one of, if not the most successful political campaign I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. And from Tinubu's point of view, it was like, where did this one come from? He will not for the president. That's how he saw it. Like that. Exactly. That's exactly how he saw it.
I mean, we have witnessed a lot, as we can see, right? And the days ahead, it seems to be a little bit cloudy, if not dark.